Oh, wow. I tweaked out there. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mike's Picks. That's the new name we're going to be using for my Best Bets show. Because I don't go over just my best bets, I'm going over all of my bets. So we're going to call it Mike's Picks for now. The goal is, for anybody new, the goal is to quickly go over all of my bets in 10 minutes, ideally, or less. 15 minutes maximum. Sometimes I got to talk a bit too much. So also, real quick, I don't normally dress like this. I have a job thing coming up after this, like for my job. So I kind of have to look different, but figured why not throw on the Viking hat, get a cool look going. So welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll get right into it, not to waste any more time. So first off, I'm going to run through my straight picks. Then we're going to go over my round robin that I've got going this week. I'll talk about what a round robin is if someone doesn't know. Then I'm going to go over my totals, as in like fight doesn't goes or over unders. Then I'm going to go over my props. I'm going to go over my parlays, and then I'm going to go over my hedge spots, and I'll talk about that a bit when I get there. I do things a little bit differently than others when it comes to hedging, so I'll talk about that in a moment. But anyways, getting right into it. So for our straight picks, we've got Tom Aspinall at minus 125 is what I got him at for 1.25 units. He's now sitting at minus 130, minus 140, minus 135. So I would still play him there. I do think he has the advantages here. The only concern is him getting grinded out, right? Then I got Chris Curtis, minus 110, 1.1 units. I think he keeps it on the feet, and he wins the striking exchanges. Paddy Pimblay, minus 250, 2 units. I just think he's better than Levitt everywhere here. Volkan Oezdemir, minus 162, played it for 1.62 units. As long as he doesn't fall into Paul Craig's guard, I really do think that he wins this fight. Then we got Jonathan Pierce, minus 215, 1.3 units. My one concern there is him getting caught with a front choke, but otherwise, I think he's going to grind out Makwan and pull out the victory. And then we got Victoria Leonardo at plus 110 for 0.9 units. And the only reason I didn't go full unit is because of a prop that I'm going to go over for her. So that's it for our straight picks, and I don't think I'm going to be adding anything there. And then we'll go right into the round robin. So what's a round robin, Mike? A round robin is essentially, all right, so let's say I want to put 4 fighters in a parlay, right? Aspinall, Curtis, Paddy, and Oezdemir, right? Just for an example. One option I can do is just a parlay, right? And I'll have good odds probably, but one person loses, even if all 3 win, I lose, right? Round robin, though, I can take those 4, and I can pretty much doing a round robin does on a sports book is they make every possible combination, right? So let's say I have those 4 fighters. If I enter a round robin, let's say a 2-team, right? You can decide if you want to do 2 pieces in each round robin, or if you want to do 3 players in each round robin, or 4. So let's say I do 2. That means I'm going to get combinations such as Aspinall Curtis, Aspinall Paddy, Aspinall Oezdemir. Then I'm going to have Curtis Paddy, Curtis Oezdemir, and then I'll have Paddy Oezdemir. You get what I mean? So that's what a round robin is. And the picks I have for my round robin are Krylov, which is the one I'm most concerned about, because if he can't get Gustafsson down, I'm concerned on what's going to happen on the feet, but we're going to have to see. I do think he has more paths here, so I do think he wins the fight. Jai Herbert is the second piece of our round robin. I think he's better than Nelson, and I don't think that he's going to get knocked out like many are saying. Then I got Jonathan Pierce, as I mentioned earlier in my money lines. I got Mokaev as well, Diakese, and Mason Jones. Those are my 6 picks for my round robin, and because most of them are heavy favorites, what I did was pairs of 2s and pairs of 3s. So, and I risked, I'm forgetting how much I risked, but pretty much, I believe, here, I'm going to go pull up my Twitter. I want to say I risked like 4 units to win, something around there, but I got to double check real quick. Meanwhile, I'll hop in the comments. My guy Kiarik's always tuning in. Appreciate you, brother. Chalk or homeless this week? Absolutely. Just wait till I start going over my parlays. It's terrible. But let's see real quick. Let me pull up my round robin post, because I do want to tell you guys how much we staked. Okay. I do apologize, gang. I normally try to have this stuff already ready, but I'm just trying to pull it up. Where's my round robin? Okay, boom. So what I have going for my round robin, I've got, let's see. So I staked total 4.37 units, and that is to win. I don't have the number to win, but it's around there. And the total stake per fighter, it comes out to 1.25 units per fighter. So that's my round robin. And then we'll move right along to our totals. Like I said before, it's just over unders or fight goes, fight doesn't. And what I played was Paddy Pimblay's fight. Fight goes the distance plus 220 half unit. I do think that we're going to see the scorecards. A lot of people don't. They think Paddy's going to knock out Levitt because he hates him. I just don't think so. I think we make it. Plus 220, love it. Silva Dalby, fight doesn't go the distance, minus 115. I played it for 0.575 units, so just a bit over half a unit. And the reason for that is I think Silva's either going to sub him or Dalby's going to knock out an exhausted Silva in round 3. So I do like that spot at minus 115. And then we got Curtis Hermansen. I believe fight goes the distance as well, plus 115 for a half unit. I think this is going to be similar to the last fight, right? Hermansen's just a better version of Vieira, in my opinion. So I do think that we're going to make it to decision there as well. Kiark saying Paddy's interviews seem like he wants to kill this guy. Yeah, I mean, it for sure does. But you also have to remember these guys say all kinds of things, right? Remember Peter Yan's interviews before the Sterling fight? He's like, I'm going to kill his team. I'm going to kill him. Like, and what happened? You know, that's my guy, Peter Yan. But on rewatch, he lost that fight, right? So it doesn't always mean anything. But I do agree it's giving me concern a bit that Paddy's so angry. But we'll see what happens. And then my last total is, again, Pimblay Levitt. This time over 1.5, minus 145 for 1.45 units. And that one I like. That I really like. I don't see an early knockout. I'd be really, really shocked. So over 1.5, I really do think that hits. So I like that spot a lot. And then for my props, I've only got 3 that aren't hedges. So those 3 are Leonardo, KO plus 1,200 for 0.1 unit. Pimblay plus 380 Pimblay by decision plus 380, 0.25 units. Curtis by decision plus 350, 0.2 units. And then for my parlays, here we go. It's so ugly. All right, we got 1 unit on Krylov plus Herbert plus 113. Pimblay plus Pierce plus Mokayev plus 142, 1 unit. Aspinall plus Mokayev plus 113, 1 unit. Mokayev and Diakese plus 108. No, minus 161, 2 units. Volkan plus Diakese plus 108, half a unit. Volkan plus Jones plus 109, 0.5 units. And then I got McCann, KO or decision with Wood, KO or decision with Jones, plus 112, quarter unit. Then I got McCann, KO or decision, Wood, KO or decision, Diakese, plus 111 for a quarter unit. Then I got Herbert plus Jones over 1.5, plus 108 unit. Plus 108 for a quarter unit. Volkan plus Wood over 1.5, minus 104, quarter unit. Then I got Volkan plus Molly over 1.5. I got that at minus 108 for a quarter unit. Then I got Volkan plus Paddy over 1.5 for plus 171, a half unit. And then the last parlay is Herbert plus Paddy over 1.5 plus 130 for a half unit. Kiarix, my guy, saying, have you ever considered doing Twitter Spaces? And honestly, no, I haven't, but it's something to look into for sure. I don't fully understand it. I tune into Tajik Bay's spaces constantly when they're up, but yeah, that's something I should check out. Thank you for mentioning it, Kiarix. And then, all right, so we're pretty much almost done. All that's left is my hedge spots. Let me explain myself real quick, because I'm one of the few people that do this. If I play someone heavy, even if I'm comfortable with the bet, if I think the other person has a really solid path of victory themselves, and I get crazy odds on it, I'm gonna play that. Like, no doubt in my mind, I'm gonna play that. And I understand that it's gonna cut my ROI a little bit, and that's a risk that I have to take. But I feel like I find a good amount of success there let me give an example. Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan, right? I was all over Peter Yan, my favorite fighter. I think he's gonna kill Aljo. And then come fight night, get in there. I was like, damn, I don't know. So I played Aljo as a hedge plus 900 by decision for a unit. I got back 9 units, and it saved my night. I mean, I still lost, but it saved me from a terrible loss, right? So that's why I like these hedge spots. People don't agree, but I do my own thing, right? So the first one is Craig sub round 3 plus 1400 for 0.1 unit. The reason there is, like I said, I think Uzumir wins, but how does Craig always win, right? Guys knock him down or something, where they join his guard, try to finish him, maybe ground and pound, and what does he do? He subs them. So definitely covering that. Then I've got Gustafsson plus 420 for a quarter unit by decision. That's just, I don't think he finishes Krylov, and I am concerned about Krylov winning that fight. That's my least confident play. So I did want to cover myself a bit with that Gustafsson decision. Then I played Amirkhani sub round 1 and sub round 2. Round 1 was plus 1,000. Sub round 2 was plus 1,400. And it was 0.1 unit for each one of those. And the reasoning behind that is pretty simple, right? Pierce is a volume wrestler, gets sloppy. And Amirkhani in round 1 and 2 is always dangerous. It's in round 3 where he's a bit slower, right? And then Rosa. All right, this is good, right? So I barely played Wood, so this isn't so much of a hedge as much of a YOLO, right? So I played Rosa by sub in round 3 because they gave it to me for plus 4,600. And I played that for just not even 0.1 unit. I played it for 0.0666 units, right? And that's still to win like 3.4 or something. And why did I play it? Because my risk is minuscule. Fights go crazy. Chaos happens, especially when you got a crazy crowd like London. It's going to be full of energy. And Wood's going up in a weight class, and while we think he's going to look good, we think a lot of things, and we're constantly wrong, right? So that's the first. Second, Rosa has shown time and time again that even though he's not the best fighter, in round 3, he's going to keep going, right? Damon Jackson, what did he do to the guy? He busted his head open, right? In round 3. That was nuts. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, because Damon Jackson was dominating the whole fight. And in round 3, Rosa does, I believe it was a spinning elbow or some kind of elbow, and he just cuts Jackson open, blood squirting, and stuff like that happens, right? So I don't like it, but I think it's worth a shot, right? And then Johnson by decision is my last play, and that's just it's just because I'm a little overextended on Makayev, I think. Because look, I get the whole thing that people are. I do think Makayev wins, right? I think he wins dominantly. I get what people are saying. Johnson is probably the best opponent he's faced so far. Johnson has faced good competition, even not being in the UFC just yet until now. Johnson has pretty decent takedown defense. I've heard people crapping on it, but I don't get that. I think he's pretty good. And he's been training with wrestlers like Jordan Burroughs and whatnot. And I do think he has the striking advantage here. I hate Makayev's striking. If you've watched my shows before, I don't like fancy kickers. I hate it. I need guys to throw hands, right? So because I'm not the most confident in Makayev, I am going to be playing Johnson by decision at plus 850 for 0.36 units, just to cover my butt a little bit in case Makayev does lose that fight. I just want to say one last thing about, Johnson training with wrestlers. I mentioned this on my show yesterday with Dan. If you haven't checked that out, Dan from Half the Battle was on my show yesterday, and it was really a dope show. I was honored to have him on. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. I go a lot more in depth for my picks. But I was talking about this. I was saying, if you guys remember the first time Masvidal fought Usman, right? Even though it was short notice, Masvidal leading up to that fight was still training his wrestling. He had Bo Nickel. They were training together. He was bringing in wrestlers. So, and what did that do? It did nothing, right? His takedown defense looked better. But at the end of the day, you're not going to learn. Like, Makayev's been doing this his entire life, You're not going to just decide, all right, I got 3 months, I'm going to get amazing takedown defense. You can improve it, but, this is this guy's, blood. This is what he does. This is what he's always done, So I do think Makayev wins. And that wraps it up, guys. I went over my 10 minutes, hit 15, but thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Kiaris, for tuning in. My guy, I appreciate you big time. And have a great one, guys. Good luck. Good luck on Saturday. Oh, and last reminder, I've got a show going tomorrow. New show covering the Contender Series fights. I've already got some picks out, so make sure to check out my Twitter, my Bet MMA, Couch Warrior Pod. And yeah, thank you guys. Peace out.